Greg Bice here, and on the edition of Bice Cream Blog this week, I wanted to interview a good friend of mine, and hopefully this will become a series. I'll sit down and talk to some guys around the league and guys I respect, and Chazz, obviously.
Nice to know I'm respected.
You are respected. Chazz is obviously a terrific player and a guy that I love to watch and watch you play and the way you play.
Appreciate it.
But the thing that I like most about you, Chazz, is the way you live. And you're a man of intention, and the way you carry yourself off the field is a special thing. And so that's really what my blog, I like to hopefully, dig into the deeper things and talk about what's really important.
That's awesome.
And so just want to sit down with you and just pick your brain and just get down to what you're about and who you are. So, the first question I want to ask, I want to do this in a couple different segments, but I want to talk about you as a player, first of all. And you've obviously had a lot of success in a couple different sports. Pretty good basketball player, but obviously in the lacrosse world, professional, all-star. In college, you were phenomenal at Brown. And the first question I just ask you is why do you play? Why do you play lacrosse?
I play lacrosse because I enjoy it, to be perfectly honest. I think growing up, basketball was my first love. That's what I wanted to do in college, and that's what big dreams. I would have liked to play professionally. Who doesn't? It's cool. I grew up in the Jordan era.
Yeah.
Who don't want to play, with Jordan and stuff? So, I think that the fact that I shouldn't say couldn't, but didn't end up, with the opportunity to play basketball in college. I was fortunate enough to have lacrosse to fall back on, and it's treated me well, and it's a blessing to be able to play, to be able to do this full time, and to be able to do it just in general, because there's so many people that don't get opportunities like this. They don't get the opportunity to play for whatever reason, and some people just physically can't, and I feel like if you're gifted and you're talented and you've been given the opportunity to use those talents, and you should.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm still playing.
It's a lot of reasons I play are the same, and as a player, one of the things that I think about are habits.
Right.
And you obviously have created some good habits over time that have benefited you to get to this level. Are there some habits and some ways that you go about just your daily life that you would recommend to some of the young players out there, in some of the kids who want to reach either a high level of success in lacrosse or whatever sport it is at any level? Are there some things that you do on a daily basis or weekly basis that help you just live your life with intention and help you become the best athlete that you can be?
I think one thing, you've said it twice now, that I live with intention, or that I'm a person with intention. And it's funny because I remember this was in 10th grade. I think my history teacher said, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. But it's true. I am a person of intention, and this kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier with the average is my enemy statement and all that. It's I have set up a defined standard for myself, and so every day I work toward being conscious of that standard. And it's I fall short daily, weekly. Not everything I do meets my own standard. But that's what I work toward, and then I think that that carries through because I do it in my everyday life, and it carries through into lacrosse and into whatever else I'm doing, whether it's coaching or mentoring, and there are certain ways I go about approaching the day. I wake up and I type out a morning prayer. I started doing that in ironically enough, right after I got traded to LA.
Okay.
And part of my reasoning behind that was, number one, to just start the day off right, but number two, I figure if it's not worth a couple keystrokes, then I'm not really serious about it. And that prayer could be anything at any given time. It might be for somebody else, it might be for me, it might be for just the day, or for God to work through me, or whatever it is. But that's part of my daily routine, is to get up and make sure I do that every morning. And then I send out a words of wisdom email Monday to Friday, which is another part of not just routine, but part of that standard. Because now if I'm sending these quotes or whatever they are, little bits of wisdom out, then I should be at least trying to live up to those things that I'm sending out to everybody else, and as wisdom. So
that's something that I try to do too, and just those first moments of the day is to center yourself and remember why you're going after that day and what you're going after, and all the things that you've been given. And I know it's something that I'm not great at, and sometimes when I forget, it affects the rest of my day. And to hear you say that's it's reassuring to me that that's something that I need to be doing in my life, and something I need to definitely take away and make sure that I take those moments to center myself and really focus on the day. One of the other questions I want to ask you as a player, obviously you're a captain of the team this year, and you've been a captain of teams in the past, and we were having a great conversation about leadership on the plane ride here to Atlanta. And where are we?
We're in Charlotte.
We're in Charlotte. We were coming from Atlanta to Charlotte, but one of the things, that we were talking about is, what is leadership? What does it look like? And so you as a player, I know it can look a little bit different in different forms. As a leader and a captain of this team, what does that leadership role look like, and how does that play out for you personally, and to be respected by the team and the coaching staff, and to walk that line between both, and to earn that respect as a leader?
Well, it's funny you say that, being the co-captain, but
I'm sure I'm looking for advice here.
Right.
I need some help.
Nah, it's the interesting part about that is I set out. I the last couple MLL seasons, I felt like I'd been around the league long enough, and I felt personally like I had earned my way into being a captain, and that's not necessarily true. There may have been more things I needed to do, or more respect that I needed to earn from my teammates or coaches or whomever it is. And then the other thing is, just like I tell my high school guys all the time, you don't have to be a captain to be a leader. There are a lot of leaders on our team. You look around our team, we have some great leaders. And not everybody's going to be a captain. This year I actually, I didn't say it to anybody, but I actually set one of my goals was to be a captain of this team. But then I never really thought about what that means at this level, because this isn't the type of situation where you got to go grab a guy by the face mask, or you got to go yell at some. We're all grown men. We've all been around this a long time. Like I said, there's so many other leaders on this team. So I'm still kind of wrestling with that, and especially after the loss last week, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what that means for us, or for me personally at least. I know one of those things is just meeting the basic standards and making sure that I meet them all the time. I know I get ragged on sometimes for being late, and I'm not talking about with MLL stuff, but just in general. And so that's one thing that is a priority for me with this team, is making sure when we have to be the boss, I'm there on time, I'm there early. If if we got to do this or do that, that I take care of it. That I am up front with everybody, and that just doing all the little things that leaders in general are supposed to do. I know we talked about, like what Richie Mee was saying, that the bare minimum doesn't make you a captain. It doesn't make you a leader. That's the bare minimum. That's what's supposed to be done. So at the very least, I want to make sure I'm doing those things. And I think the rest of it comes down to leading by example, and then pulling everybody else along. It's tough sometimes in this league when you're losing and you're down. I've been on teams in this league where we get down and then everybody just tanks. I think as a captain, it's your responsibility to make sure guys don't tank. That we stay in it, because in this league anything can happen. So when you're talking in the team context of Major League Lacrosse, that's a big part for us, is maintaining that team morale and kind of chemistry.
Awesome. Well, I don't have any other questions for you. Big picture questions, I think, is what we're trying to tackle here in this first part about you being a player. So, you know, I'm going to do a couple different segments here, but from a player standpoint, that wraps it up. And I know for me, it's always great to listen to a guy like you speak and take things away. So there's definitely some things that I take away, and I hope that the people that get to see this video take away as well. So
absolutely.
See you guys in the second part of the interview.
Yeah, man. We got to pay some bills. Commercial break.